In Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Steven Spielberg shows a father driven to near madness in the pursuit of his dream. Roy Neary exhibits the behavior of a young artist who'll stop at nothing to make the vision in his head a reality.
Where are we going?
Just get in the car.
Where are we going?
Quietly, quickly, get
Where
in
are we
this
going?
Get in there, Toby. Quickly.
Get into more help.
Okay, lock the doors. Lock the doors.
Get into more help.
Quiet. Just lock the doors.
Honey?
Don't lock those windows.
This is done. Get into more help.
Honey, where you going?
What?
Where you going?
Taking the kids to my sister's.
Honey, hold! What do you want? Can you hold it 1 minute?
The movie contrasts Roy Neary's destructive obsession against the plight of Gillian Guyler, a single mum. Like Roy, she has been implanted with a vision of extraterrestrial contact, but her motive in going to Devil's Tower is quite different. Where Roy wants to make his dreams come true, expressing the selfish drive of an artist, Gillian wants only to rescue her kidnapped son. The dichotomy between the two storylines is striking. We watch a mother desperately try to hold her family together. Meanwhile, a father abandons his own family to answer a higher calling.
You see that?
Oh, yes.
Close Encounters is clearly the work of a young artist. Spielberg has said on several occasions that if he made the movie today, he would not have had Roy Neary abandon his family to pursue his vision.
You want to see better?
I can see fine.
We can't stay here.
I can.
Why?
Because Barry's not here. I'm just not ready.
I can't stay here. I've got to get down there.
I know.
Whether that's indicative of deeper wisdom or a sort of creeping personal and artistic softness is impossible to say. But it's definitely a change that came with age, and that is reflected in Spielberg's attitude towards parents and their children, and grandchildren. In any event, the film's narrative momentum and sense of craft are so overwhelming that we do not judge Roy for what he does. Instead, we root for him, or, at the very least, live vicariously through him, as he does something that most of us would not be brave enough, or obsessed enough, to do. The image of Roy walking into the mothership to be a part of a new family could stand in for Spielberg in the mid-70s, a young man leaving home to become a part of a filmmaking family, ascending from relative obscurity to become the most popular storyteller of his time. But it's a bittersweet moment, thanks to our awareness of what Roy has given up and what his children have lost. He has chosen visionary fulfillment over personal responsibility. Spielberg's 1982 blockbuster E.T. feels like a continuation of Close Encounters, and not just because the story originated in Spielberg's daydreaming about what might have happened if one of the aliens from Close Encounters got left behind. The film's hero, Elliot, is the middle child in a bustling suburban home guided by a single mother. The absence of the father is conspicuous and important. At times, it feels as if we're seeing what happened to the Neary family in Close Encounters after Roy lost his mind and ran off to Devil's Tower.
Nobody go out there.
Stop now! You guys stay right here!
You stay here, Mom. We'll check it out.
And put those knives back!
In E.T., Spielberg uses the fanciful story of a boy and his friendship with an alien creature as his way of dealing directly with the trauma of divorce. The absence of Elliot's father, the fact that his family will never be whole, permeates every scene of E.T. Elliot learns the hard lesson early, that nothing can last forever. Like the young Spielberg, the boy retreats into his imagination. When Elliot befriends E.T., it is as if he's found an equal, a pet that reveals himself as a playmate. But really, their friendship is a compacted account of how all children will eventually be asked one day to look after those who nurtured and protected them.
Elliot.
I taught him how to talk now. He can talk now.
Elliot.
Look what he brought.
The relationship between the boy and his alien illustrates the phrase, "the child is father to the man." And as the tale unfolds, both E.T. and Elliot learn it. E.T., like Elliot, feels abandoned by his family, but E.T. quickly assumes the role of friend or protector, and, in some strange way, mentor of Elliot. By the end of the story, the roles have switched. Elliot takes on the responsibility of reuniting E.T. with his family at the landing site. But at the same time, E.T. also reveals a depth of maturity and wisdom that we might not have suspected earlier. The crowd-pleasing shots of the rescued alien appearing in the back of the hijacked government van suggests an almost mythic power and wisdom. E.T.'s pose is vaguely Christ-like, but the wrinkled visage and tattered robes suggest confident, loving grandfather who's seen it all.
He's a man from outer space, and we're taking him to a spaceship.
The final scene shows Elliot re-experiencing the heartbreak that comes when a family must separate. But he seems better able to handle it this time. It's an intensely sad moment, but also resigned and mature. Elliot seems tougher now, and wiser. Throughout his films, you can track Spielberg's evolving feelings about the terrors, pleasures, and responsibilities of fatherhood. In Empire of the Sun, based on J.G. Ballard's novel, the preteen hero Jim is wrenched from his family as violently as any Spielberg hero, and must learn to survive on his own. He finds an unexpected ally, a sort of Humphrey Bogart-like scoundrel mentor in Basie, an American steward stranded in Japanese-occupied Shanghai.
Reading so much. There ain't no fair as it is.
There isn't enough air for you in the whole of China, isn't that it, Jim?
That's it, Basie. Here are your clothes.
Oh, you're better than the Shanghai laundry. Did you get a quart?
I got one, Basie.
Good boy.
The film's title is a bit of a pun. Sun. S-U-N is a reference to the sun on the flag of Imperial Japan, but it also describes the suddenly parentless hero's empire. An immense, splendid, and very dangerous backyard for him to play in and grow in. Empire of the Sun. S-O-N. Even in Hook, we are treated to the sight of the eternal child Peter Pan, coming to grips with being a father and learning to nurture the child within the man, but without neglecting his adult responsibilities. Later films show Spielberg to be impatient, even resentful, at the sight of fathers neglecting their duties. You can sense his anger in wanting deadbeat dads to get a clue, a comeuppance. In War of the Worlds, divorced dad Ray Ferrier can hardly be bothered to look after his kids for a weekend.
Get out! Get out! Get out! Get down!
When an alien invasion occurs, he is confronted for the first time in his life with the prospect of caring for others. Ray has never been reliable.
Maybe a little
I'm
blackjack?
allergic to peanut butter.
Since when?
Birth.
Now he must reunite his children with their mother. If he can do that, then maybe he will earn the right to be a father. In Minority Report, Chief Anderton is a far cry from Chief Brody. This gifted cop watches over the people of DC, not out of concern, but suspicion. But there is a reason for his wanting to know the whereabouts of everyone under his authority. It stems from his failing as a protective father, which led to the kidnapping and murder of his only son.
John? John?
Anderton was a good husband and dad, but a moment of distraction led to the loss of his family and deep depression, and then to drug addiction. In Jurassic Park, the childless hero's discomfort with children is a running joke throughout the film's first half. In an early scene of paleontologist Alan Grant lecturing about how birds evolved from dinosaurs, he even seems to take pleasure in terrifying the youngest members of his audience.
Because Velociraptor's a pack hunter, you see. He uses coordinated attack patterns, and he is out in force today. And he slashes at you with this 6-inch retractable claw, like a razor, on the middle toe. He doesn't bother to bite your jugular like a lion, say. No. He slashes at you here, or here.
Alan is awkward and hesitant, fearful even, when he suddenly finds himself the protector of 2 kids. But by the end of the film, his parental instincts are in full bloom, and he seems at peace with his responsibilities. The film's screenplay has an extremely conservative point of view on the matter. Parenting is depicted not just as an important job that perpetuates the species, but a symbol of evolution. This is driven home in the film's final shot, which shows the hero, his girlfriend, and the 2 children being airlifted away from an island of primordial terror. The movie cuts from shots of this makeshift nuclear family, safe at last and relaxing, to shots of pelicans soaring through the sky. The meaning is clear. The willingness to take responsibility for a child, even one who's not your own, is a marker of true maturity. Alan Grant began the film as a dinosaur. By the end, he has evolved into a bird.